Well, it's been a busy, shortened week in the ag marketplace. We've got Good Friday tomorrow, so no trading there. Markets will resume on Monday. It's time now for the daily market summary. I'm visiting with Jason Meyer of agmarket.net. Jason, what do we see going on in the grain markets today?
There's some choppy trade in the grain markets today. Initially, we thought the markets were going to be significantly higher with crude up over $10 a barrel. But as the day progressed, the corn and the bean market just could not maintain that strength here. I think here in Iowa, a lot of the state got some ample rains, and you look at the entire Midwest, there's still good rains falling, so some much needed rain. And then you still have the idea that the ending stocks are relatively higher than last year, so that's putting a little bit of pressure on the marketplace here today.
And then we also saw that U.S. export sales report come out today. Jason, what do we see from the numbers on that for the corn and soybeans?
Yeah, corn sales were kind of in line with expectations, about 45 million bushels. Soybeans was rather disappointing, coming in only at 13 million bushels. So there's more and more thought process that the U.S. export window for beans will continue to shrink, especially with Brazilian harvest approaching 80% done, and the Argentinians getting geared up and rolling there. So the cheapest beans in the world is not in the United States.
We know with the soybeans, anyways, we saw on the quarterly grain stocks, demand was a bit weaker there. And it looks like that might continue, especially when we look at already having the April WASDE report coming out next week.
That is correct there. The one bright spot for soybeans is crush margin. Or crush margins, number one, have been fantastic, and the U.S. crush pace has been on fire this year. Each month, we continue to set an all-time record in monthly amount of beans crushed.
So when we look on the livestock side of things, Jason, how did cattle and hogs trade today?
The cattle market just continues its climb higher. Both live and fat cattle had all-time contract highs today, the highest close we've seen ever. So the cattle market just continues its move higher. Just some ideas today that maybe cash cattle trade can be higher, leading to that support in the futures market. And very surprising, a lot of analysts are saying with the higher energy prices, there's going to be a little bit less beef demand, and we're just not seeing that in the marketplace. Then on the flip side, the hog market just cannot get out of its downtrend that it's in. Cash trades a little bit lower than last week, but just doesn't seem like the traders have any love for the pork market right now.
And we know that here in Iowa, we've got higher temperatures. That does mean grilling season will be kicking off hopefully here pretty soon. Do we think that enhanced demand from that grilling season could provide some aid to those cattle and hogs?
It should be able to provide some aid to beef and pork prices for sure. Even with the higher gas prices, it doesn't seem to be slowing people down. And maybe instead of going to the restaurant, folks are gonna stay at home and do their own grilling.
And then one last thing when it comes to that demand, especially in the beef markets, we know those prices are higher, but when the consumer wants to purchase beef, they will continue to purchase beef at least up to a certain level, right?
Yeah, we haven't found what that level is going to be yet, and if we get beef prices high enough, we're going to continue to see other foreign countries continue to try to flood our market with their product. But right now, that beef demand is very inelastic and staying strong even as prices go higher.
All right, Jason, lots of great information today. For anyone who would like to get in touch with agmarket.net, how can they do that?
Riley, the best way would be go to our eggmarket.net website and click on one of our profiles and reach out to us, and we'd be more than happy to speak with you.
All right, Jason, thanks again for your time as always, and we will talk again soon.
Thanks, Riley. Everybody enjoy the long 3-day weekend here.